Your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. This is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, as veterinarian bills mount for the nearly 6 dogs rescued from a rural Scottsbluff home in one of the region's largest animal hoarding cases, one local family has stepped up in a big way. The Aulick family was on hand at the Panhandle Humane Society on Monday for a check presentation ceremony, giving the shelter a whopping $15,000 to help with those ongoing expenses. The family's longtime matriarch, Shirley Aulick, was a huge advocate for PHS, and granddaughter Crystal said they wanted to donate in her memory.
Shirley used to bring down a bag of food, used to help out when she could, and so in honor of her, we wanted to give $15,000 to the Panhandle Humane Society. And we love everything that they do, and they do so much for this community and helping out all the animals. We are an honor that we could do that, and we're looking at that if you are able to help out and pay it forward, just do that as well. So this is kind of just a little something from us to them to help everybody in the community.
The first round of rescue dogs are now available for adoption at the Panhandle Humane Society, and staff is also working to coordinate foster homes and volunteers. Well, one bad egg can ruin the fun for everyone. That's a lesson people patronizing the City of Gering swimming pool this week have learned. City officials say that due to vandalism that occurred overnight, the pool slide will be closed until further notice while repairs are being made. The pool remains open for regular swimming, but the slide will remain closed until further notice. Staff says they do apologize to the public for the inconvenience and appreciate everyone's patience. And the Scottsbluff City Council has approved a slightly higher police department tow truck contract for the next 3 years. Beeline Services had the current contract that expires at the end of July, but during the June 15th council meeting, Police Chief Chris Brass said there were concerns.
The quality of performance, right now, I pulled the stats just for this year, so about 6 months, and the contract says that the response time has to be 30 minutes or less. 26% of the responses this year have been over that threshold, and some of them are over by, a minute or 2 or 3.
She noted that in some extreme cases, the response time was nearly an hour and a half. Chief Brass says officers are forced to stay on scene until it's cleared, so hoping that their service improved wasn't worth the risk. After consideration, the 3-year tow contract was awarded to Bumper to Bumper.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Welcome back. Officials in Alliance say it will basically be a game-time decision on whether or not the city's annual 4th of July fireworks show will take place this year. Scheduled to happen Saturday, they say they still haven't made a final decision on if the show will go on. In a release, they say the fire chief is continually monitoring all circumstances amid overall public safety considerations, and because conditions can change quickly, the final decision will likely be made Friday, July 3rd. Officials say the Independence Day fireworks display is a valued community tradition, but public safety remains the city's top priority, and any decision about the display will be made with careful consideration of current conditions and the potential fire risk. They advise the community and its residents to monitor the city's Facebook page for updates. And heads up to drivers in Gering, city officials would like to inform citizens that Q Street on the east side of 10th Street at the intersection will be closed beginning today through July 7th for repairs. City officials respectfully request that drivers and pedestrians use caution when traveling in this area, and to use alternate routes.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
I would definitely recommend Allo's business services to other companies. Allo's next-gen firewalls have allowed us to tie 6 physical locations together along with numerous remote employees to produce and collaborate and generate content for our local radio group. It is very important for Nebraska Rural Radio Association to have the best in internet and phone service. We rely upon that every single day. Allo provided me with a solution that fit our needs. They have a quality product, great technical support, and a local presence in their community.
I'm Alex Makovica on the Rural Radio Network. You've probably heard the saying, Pete and repeat, we're on a boat. Pete fell off, who's left? And that seems like what we're about to enter here in the week ahead. 4th of July holiday week, and Nebraska Extension's Eric Hunt joins us to break it all down. Eric, tell us a little bit about what's on tap for this week.
Yeah, a little bit. I think today may be the hottest day of the week for most of the eastern portion of the state. Western Nebraska, you had your hot day on Saturday. Temperatures generally will be on the cooler side out there, at least at more seasonal levels compared to the central and eastern sections. We'll point out there is a red flag warning day across portions of the southern panhandle. Winds will be pretty strong this afternoon from the west. Dew points will be noticeably lower than they are going to be in eastern Nebraska. So that red flag warning should be heated out there given the high vapor pressure deficits and windy conditions. Also, it'll be relatively breezy across pretty much all of eastern Nebraska. Anything kind of along and east of Highway 281, probably looking at winds sustained in that 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts over that. It will be very humid. Dew points in the 70s. Dew points did come pretty close to hitting 80 yesterday in portions of southeast Nebraska. I think we'll probably make another run at dew points, the upper 70s later this afternoon. There's plenty of low-level moisture around. Crops are not necessarily at peak evapotranspiration rates just yet, but there's definitely getting closer to that mark. So anytime this time of year and we have a lot of low-level moisture around and we have windy conditions like this, they're going to push out a lot of water vapor. So it's going to be humid. The change, though, from recent days is we are going to start seeing more chances for showers and thunderstorms across portions of south central and eastern Nebraska. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to see a boundary push through a good portion of the state by late this afternoon, early this evening, more or less effectively probably going to stall somewhere along a northeast-southwest line, probably from about Norfolk down toward Kearney. Anywhere kind of along that line, I think there's going to be chances for showers and thunderstorms during the overnight hours. Again, if that boundary slips a little further toward the southeast, that chance to push further southeast. Regardless, right now, I think there's going to be a pretty good chance for showers and thunderstorms south central northeastern Nebraska tonight. And then tomorrow night, probably looking at more along the Highway 20 corridor. So certainly probably, I think, north of Platte River on Tuesday night. And then as we get toward the later portion of the week, I think those chances are going to be a little bit further toward the south and east as that ridge starts flattening out and things start moving a little bit more toward the south and east. But overall, though, especially central eastern sector of the state, a pretty warm week. Highs generally going to be in the 90s at least the next couple of 3 days. I think as we get toward the end of the week, I think those temperatures get a little bit more uncertain as we're dealing with more cloud covers, particularly during the early part of the day from leftover storms overnight, and just how long those storms may linger around, how early they develop. Right now, I would say that there is a reasonable chance that the 4th of July is going to be a little stormy, maybe early in the day, then maybe again later in the day. So certainly keep an eye on the short-term forecast. And again, I would just say, just based on, because the forecast is really going to be very contingent upon exactly where certain boundaries are and what time certain atmospheric disturbances get in this area. But right now, it does look like there is going to be chances for showers and thunderstorms pretty much every day this week, particularly the eastern 2/3 of the state. So even though we're going to be hot, this isn't necessarily going to be a really, really dry heat, in part because the ridge is primarily exclusively to our southeast or to our south. So that keeps us hot, but that doesn't necessarily keep us out of the precip. This ridge is centered over Wichita, we would be getting hot and we'd be getting absolutely no precipitation. So it's going to be probably record warm across portions of the east this week. So D.C., Philadelphia, the places where 4th of July is really, really important in terms of our nation's founding. They're maybe looking at record high temperatures over there on the 4th.
Okay. Let's get a little bit of a longer term outlook. I remember you saying back in April, May, you were fairly confident that the faucet was not going to completely shut off, and that came to fruition. As you look out maybe July into August, what are the early indications?
I think we're probably going to kind of see what we're seeing now on like the last few weeks on repeat. So in other words, I think we're going to have pulse, heat's going to pulse. I do not see us just staying perpetually cool this summer. This week may be one of the hottest weeks of the summer. I think we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. But I do think we will see repeated frontal passes come through this summer with chances for moisture. And because a lot of us, particularly South Central, East Central, Southeast, and even to some degree, even some portions of the Sand Hills have had quite a bit of rain here in the last couple of weeks, or it had plenty of rain, the last 6 weeks or so, like we've seen here across portions of southeast Nebraska. There is enough local moisture around that I think as long as we keep putting disturbances, boundaries in this region, we are going to see showers and thunderstorms develop, particularly in the late afternoon, overnight hours. So I do think we are going to see at least chances for precipitation for good portions of summer. And I think our temperatures, by and large, if you go back the last several times we've transitioned into stronger El Nino in the summer, we generally are not excessively cool here, but we generally are not excessively warm. We kind of have a mix of where it's warmer and cooler. We tend to have a little bit more, I would say, not maybe perfectly Goldilocks weather, but probably a little closer to that than we would see in some other summers. But I think it's really I think we'll have to really just see what happens here in the next 10 days, because if that ridge if it sits it really prominently over the southeast this summer, then we're probably going to maintain chances for moisture the entire summer. But I think as long as it stays Texas or further toward the west, which is generally what we would see during the period going into an stronger El Nino, that I think we're going to maintain more northwest flow, more chances for thunderstorms, and probably also a lot more days, the highs in the mid to upper 80s than in the mid to upper 90s. So I think that all bodes relatively well for good corn and soybean production. But if there is a slight chance that we could see that ridge just really want to sit closer to Tulsa, Wichita, St. Louis. If that happens, then we will have stretches this summer where it is going to be relatively rough. I'm not seeing any indication that's going to be the predominant feature. That would certainly not be the expected feature in the next 6 weeks, but I think it is something to watch out for. But by and large, kind of rambling here, but I do think that we are probably looking at a fairly decent summer, all things considering. This week's going to be a little bit hot, also quite windy, but I don't think this is going to be it's not going to be like every single day. This will probably come back occasionally, but it's not going to be the dominant feature every single day. This is not going to be like 1980 or 2012, I don't think.
Sure. Yeah. I guess we'll keep an eye on it. All right. That's Nebraska Extension's Eric Hunt joining us here on the Rural Radio Network. I'm Alex Makovica.
When it comes to your health, you deserve the very best. At Morrill County Community Hospital, they provide top-notch care with compassion and expertise. From routine checkups to advanced surgeries, their dedicated team is here for you 24/7. With state-of-the-art technology and a patient-first approach, they ensure you and your loved ones receive the highest quality care. Because at Morrill County Community Hospital, your health is their priority. Visit Morrill County Community Hospital today in Bridgeport. Morrill County Community Hospital. Exceptional care right here at home.
Are you looking for the perfect place to hold a wedding, family reunion, holiday office party, or business meeting? Well, look no further. The Hampton Inn and Suites Hotel and Conference Center is just the place for you. We're a full-service banquet facility that can host up to 400 of your guests. Stop in and see our spacious open-concept meeting rooms and begin planning your special event or family gathering today. Let us do the work for you so you can enjoy your guests. For personal service, stop by the Hampton Inn and Suites front desk.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Your first home. It's more than walls and a roof. It's where life begins, where laughter fills the rooms and dreams start to take shape. At Platte Valley Bank, we're here to make the first step easier with free consultations and pre-qualification so you can move forward with confidence. From your first mortgage to your forever home, Platte Valley Bank is here for you every step of the way. You belong here.
And finally tonight, as America marks 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it's the perfect time to discover pieces of history right in your own backyard. Nebraska is home to 9 state historical parks owned by the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, each shedding light on a unique corner of the state's history. Ash Hollow State Park in Garden County was popular long ago, just as it is today, with visitors looking to relax and escape. Prehistoric indigenous peoples were drawn to the area's sweet spring water, as were travelers on the Oregon and California trails. Atop Windlass Hill, you can still see visible wagon ruts carved by thousands of covered wagons. Visitors can also get a good look at Ash Hollow Cave, where early people camped for several thousand years. Game and Park officials urge people to explore the Interpretive Center to see the cave's unique features and learn about pioneer history, Native American history, and the geological and paleontological history. Well, that is it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.